Okay, so now it's the series that I haven't finished, but all the books aren't out. So, yes. So first for two that, well, one I do own a physical book, but I didn't grab it, is the Rosemary Beach series by Epic Lines. This is really like a bunch of like mini connecting series shoved together in a bigger series. I've read the Too Far part of it, and the Twisted Perfection, Simple Perfection, and I own I own those in ebooks, and then I own the Take a Chance and One More Chance, but I don't know which one comes first. I own the first one, and the second and final one in that series came out in September, and then there's going to be a few more books in the series as well, and I will probably continue to read those, but as ebooks, because I enjoy those books, I guess, and they're quick reads, but I usually find them a little problematic. The other one that I don't own like physical copies, but I have as ebooks, are the Lords of the Underworld series by Gina Showalter. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I actually really enjoy it. I wish I owned them in physical form, but unfortunately I don't. That was when I was going through my ebook buying a romance novel phase, and I'm a little behind. I'm two books behind in the series, I believe, that are published, and who knows how many will come out. And there's a spin-off series too. It's a paranormal romance. Okay, on to the ones that I like actually own copies of. So I have the Rule of Scoundrels series, and there's only one more book left in the series, and it comes out in November, and I'm probably going to go to Barnes & Noble the day it releases and buy it because I'm super excited for it. I don't want to talk too much about that book because I feel like that book spoils the other books, which is unusual for romance. But next is the Night Prince series by Jeanine Frost. And this is a spin-off to the Night Huntress series, which follows Cat and Bones, and I've talked about that a lot. This is a trilogy, and the third and final book comes out in January. And I love the Night Huntress books, I love Cat and Bones, and I love the Night Prince series. I love Layla and Vlad, love Vlad, and I really want Ian to have his own book. I've said that a bunch of times, but I'm going to continue to say it, and hopefully it'll happen. Next is the Black Dagger Brotherhood by J.R. Ward. God knows how many books are going to be in this series. There is another book coming out next year, in like April-ish, I think, about the Shadows, which are a pair of brothers in these books, and I'm super excited for that. But I kind of have a feeling of who else I think is going to get books, and I'm kind of like, I'm going to continue to read them because I like J.R. Ward and everything, but I don't know, it's getting weird and I don't know when it's going to end. Next is another J.R. Ward series, and that's The Fallen Angels. And this, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to finish. I haven't liked them nearly as much as the Black Dagger Brotherhood books. And they take place kind of in the same world though. Like, they take place in the same town, and they have some overlapping characters and locations. And the last book I read in the series was Possession, and I was just really kind of disappointed with it. I don't think objectively that it's a bad book, I just don't think it's for me, and that's kind of how I felt the whole series. So I think I will finish it someday, but I think I'm just going to wait for them all to be out in mass market paperback. That's next is the Cocktail series by Alice Clayton, and this one's kind of hard to understand because it's really a trilogy. Wallbanger, Rusty Nailed, and Last Call, which comes out in January, but then there's like interconnecting books. So Screwdriver came out in September, and My Tied Up comes out in December, and those are about two like other characters that you meet in these books. And I don't know if there's going to be any more after Last Call, but Last Call will definitely wrap up the Simon and Caroline portion of the world. I don't know, this one's kind of confusing. It's kind of like Rosemary Beach. Next is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey, and I know The Infinite Sea just came out, and I don't know if this is just going to be a trilogy or if it's going to be longer than that. Honestly, I haven't tried to find it out. I gave this 4 stars, and I did enjoy it, but I'm kind of thinking that maybe sci-fi isn't 100% my thing. I love sci-fi as like a television medium and as a film. I'm a huge fan of Star Wars, and I'm a huge Stargate fan. And I like the Star Trek reboots. I grew up watching Star Trek with my parents. Both of my parents are pretty big Star Trek fans, like different generations of Star Trek, I would say, but fans nonetheless. And I like Firefly, and I like Battlestar Galactica. So I'm like a huge sci-fi person. I really am. I feel like I'm into all the like in sci-fi things, but I don't know, maybe between this and Across the Universe, maybe fiction written, like book stories aren't my thing. I think this is one where if I do finish it, it'll be once all the books are out, because I honestly don't have this overwhelming urge to know what happens to these characters. So, you know. And The 100, I didn't like The 100 either, so, and I feel like that's kind of sci-fi-y. Next is a companion series, the first one being On Dublin Street, and this is like contemporary romance. And I did like this book. I think I gave it 4 stars, and eventually I would like to read the other books, but not enough to pay. Like I bought this on Book Outlet for like $2. If I could get the other books for the same price, then I would read them, but I'm not gonna go pay holy crap, this book was $15. Hell no. I'm not gonna pay $10 or $15 to read them. Next is the Alienated series by Melissa Landers, and this is another one that I don't know how many books are in the series. The second, who knows if there's more books, Invaded, comes out in, I think, February, and I'm very excited for that to come out. I guess this is sci-fi. I like this one. I'm very eager for the next book in this series. This kind of reminded me of Star-Crossed on the CW, which I really enjoyed. I mean, it was super melodramatic, but I really liked it. But it got canceled, unfortunately. Sad face. But I find the characters in here really interesting. They're different than you would expect, and I'm definitely eager to continue on. And I think these covers are so pretty. Next is the Wait For You series by Jay Lynn / Jennifer L. Armentrout. And again, who knows how many series are in this book. I think there's like 6 announced books or something. The next one, Forever With You, With Me, something like that, comes out in March, I think. And I'm super excited for that one. I have read all of the books in the series that are out at this point, and this is a new adult series. Highly recommend. Next is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas, and I've read Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. I own The Assassin's Blade, so like the prequel novella binds up, and I own Heir of Fire, which that book is massive. And I believe the 4th book is going to come out next year, and I don't know how many books of the series are going to be. I'm not sure that's been announced. I feel like I've heard kind of like conflicting things. The last one is the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. And this should finish next year, I think. So I've read Cinder and Scarlet. I own Crest. I have not read it. I was putting it off because I wanted to read it closer to the release of Winter, which I thought was coming out early 2015, but apparently it's not. It's coming out in November now. And even that I'm not sure of, because I can't find a specific date, and even those change. So but she's releasing Fairest, and that's coming out in early 2015, which I think is what has pushed back the release of Winter. Oh, and then I guess technically maybe sort of the Selection series, because she's gonna, I think, 2 more books in the series. So The Heir, and for some reason, because The Heir has a synopsis now, and it comes out in May, I think, and I was reading it. For some reason I thought The Heir was going to be about a boy, and it's not. It's about a girl, which completely makes sense. Wait, no it doesn't. I'm so confused. Okay, if you haven't read the one and don't want to potentially be spoiled on something that's really obvious, then you might want to mute now. So, The Heir is about Maxine and America's daughter, and it's time for her selection. But I thought only princes had selections because daughters were just married off for like an advantageous marriage. But is it because the world is changing? I'm confused. If you understand, let me know. But so The Heir is coming out, and then I believe there is another book in that series, and I am excited to read those. I really liked the selection. I found The Elite to be a little... America was kind of annoying. I think a lot of people felt that way. I thought the one, she got a little better, but she still had some of those annoying things. And I think a lot of people had an issue with the one and the whole series wanting more dystopian elements. And whether or not that'll go anywhere in the next two books, I'm sort of hopeful that they will. But if not, if they continue to just be like that, I still enjoyed The Elite and the one, so I'll continue to read the series, and I'm curious to see our characters like 20 years in the future. If you have any unfinished series that you want to talk about, or if you think that there's one that I should prioritize, or if you can tell me how many books are in any series, let me know down in the comments, because sometimes I just lack the motivation to continue on. Too many books, not enough time. The struggle we all go through. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye.